Welcome back, everyone, to BBB Sharing. I'm Evie, Director of Ignite, sparked by BBB. We are in here again at the podcast studio, in the Ignite podcast studio, and I have a lovely guest, Laura Hancock from Ford and Thomas Insurance Agency. Laura, thank you for coming in.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Of course. It's been a while since I've been in the studio. It feels like, a couple weeks being away from your flow makes you feel a little funny. But we get to experience the podcast studio together again.
I love that. My first podcast ever. So
yes.
I'm glad
So
we're
tell
both
me,
a little out of our comfort zone here.
I know it does feel, I always tell people it feels a little funny at first, but then you realize you're just having a conversation
Exactly.
and you kind of tend to ignore the mic in your face and the headphones on your head. But tell me about Ford and Thomas. What do you guys do?
Okay, so we are a family-owned business. I'm a second generation. My dad bought the business in the 90s, but it's been around since 1969. We are full insurance. We do home, auto, business, and probate bonds, which is our niche, which a lot of people don't even know what that is.
I was going to ask you, so I like to do my research beforehand. What are probate bonds?
So essentially, if an estate is over $25,000 in Virginia, you have to have a probate bond. It's essentially a promise that the fiduciary who's in charge of the estate will be taking care of the estate appropriately.
Okay.
So we all we have to do is a soft hit credit check, make sure that they have a good job or retired and know how to, balance and take care of an estate.
What are some concerns when your clients come in? Everybody's always confused about insurance. They don't know what direction to start in. They don't know where to go. What are some common concerns that you see from your clients?
So with home, auto, and business, it's a little bit more straightforward. People have been doing that forever. Usually just switching from another company. We do get the younger, uh,
First car.
population that has no idea, and we just, run through it. But with probate bonds, it's something that even the most, well-versed person has never even heard it before. So in the beginning, we took a lot of time explaining. I figured that the best way to do it is maybe build a new website. So about 2 years ago, I created a logo and a brand for Ford and Thomas, which has never been done, which was pretty exciting. But I also made the website interactive, a lot of Q&A. They can fill out their applications online. It goes straight to my email. A lot of the bigger bonding companies out there, they're national, so they don't have that like call right away and someone answers. We have a 2-ring rule, and nobody not answers the phone. So
I love that.
It's an old school way, but it works, and it's kind of how we've grown our business to where it is.
I have to say, I think that's a common, thing with local businesses that people love so much. They get to avoid the gatekeeper.
Right.
That's what we call them. Like
Right.
the people, they're like, oh yeah, we'll get back to you in, so and so number of days. And it's like, well, I kind of want to talk to a human being
Exactly.
like now.
Yep.
And
it's a big reason why I actually joined the agency. My dad had worked so hard all these years. I got my master's in school counseling, which has nothing to do with insurance, but it has led me to be good at my job. I have grieving clients, so I think it goes hand in hand. But when I started, I told him, it's going to be a long process, and it's going to be something that we have to, it's going to be a small change, but, people are overwhelmed and they're going to have somewhere to go. And, it wasn't cheap, but I think it's going to be working out with our clients in the long run.
yeah, I love family business. I grew up in family business. My dad owned restaurants and hotels in Harrisonburg for 30 years.
Okay.
And so I know, family business as well.
Exactly. Yeah, it's important. I didn't want the bigger banks and everybody to just buy them out and say, let's just fire everyone. They can make
Yeah.
their promises. Not all of them keep their promises. And these is one of the team members has been working with my dad for 45 years, almost 50, I think. So to have someone come in to buy that and potentially let her go, it was unimaginable to me.
Yeah.
And so I said, well, let's try insurance
I
and
love
see if
that.
we can. And I thought I'd be bored, and I'm not bored. It's been 8 years.
So tell me, you guys own a family business, what about the rest of your family?
So I am a single mom. I'm business, but when it comes to my daughter, it's been a hard balance, kind of the mom guilt and the work guilt. But she makes everything worth it. She's my purpose, and she is why I do what I do. I want to make her proud one day.
I love that.
Yes.
Does she want to be part of the family business one day?
She just wants to be Minnie Mouse at this point. So I think one day, and my dad asked me since I was 18, come join the business, and it took me till I was 32. So,
Hey,
it's gonna be up to her, and whatever she does, I know she's gonna do great. So it's all about her.
she's better than I was. I was, I thought I was going to be an archaeologist and I was digging up holes and putting my dad's keys in them.
I love it.
Yeah, I love that. What are some, so when you guys have clients that come in, how does the usual protocol go? Like what's a discussion that you will start off with having and then how do you go from there?
All right, I'm gonna stick with probate bond just because it's 90% of our inflow during the day. Most are calling overwhelmed. We've kind of just, they're like, why do we need this? And if we just tell them, listen, it's the law, there's nothing we can do, they kind of fall back a little bit. They're like,
Yeah.
okay, all right, so what do I need to do? So what all we'll do is ask for name, address, social, occupation, some different other questions like the name of the estate and the amount and what county. And, we get them approved, we send it to our underwriter depending on the amount, and we call them back. One of the hardest calls I do have to make if someone's, say an only heir and they have bad credit and they cannot take care of their family's estate. Definitely probably one of the hardest calls I have to make in my job, but we have lots of resources for them. We'll refer them to attorneys. I have over 100 on my list now. I started with
Wow.
28 years ago, and that's just in Virginia. And so I've actually started going outside of Virginia. I just did my first bond in North Carolina in the history of the agency. So,
Really?
yeah.
So I know we actually just had a conversation with someone how, most people don't know that they have to file taxes. And even if they do know, they don't know how to do it.
Right.
And they always just take someone's word for, okay, I guess this, this is what I owe this year. And so they don't know, what direction to go in. How do you guys, when you guys are a family business, what is it like when your client walks in and how do you all make them feel to make sure that they feel reassured they're making the right choice?
Okay, so I've done my own research on the other companies out there, the bigger ones. You're not saying that they're bad at all. They're just bigger and they have a lot of things. So our thing is, there's bonds, all kinds of bonds. So you've got commercial bonds, big bonds for construction projects and things like that. Those are a little different than probate. You have grieving clients call. So I have made an effort to train our team members to be empathetic to our clients, not take things personally when they call. They're going to be angry, they're going to be sad, they're grieving. Grief comes in different ways. I've had crying clients. That doesn't make me as uncomfortable because I feel that pain. My family and I have been through a lot of loss. So we know that feeling of like just overwhelmed. And my team has done an amazing job with being able to talk to those clients and make them feel comfortable that they're making the right choice.
Wonderful. What's your favorite part about your everyday?
Working with my dad.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's what people always ask me. They're like, don't you miss working with your family? I do. I do miss working with my family, but you think it's hard to have to make that decision to realize you can either handle that or you can't.
Right.
And I think it's great that even though you studied something different, you decided, I want to be a part of this. I can handle it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
About 2007, I almost lost my dad. He was in a bad car accident. I ended up moving home years later because of it. I just didn't want to be that far away. I was living out in Hawaii and kind of had an epiphany, like, what am I doing so far away from home?
Yeah.
Like, I need to come home. And I came home, and I'm not gonna lie, the first few years it was definitely a lot of push and pull and like, how are we gonna do this? They've been doing this for 50 years, like times are changing. And so there's been different ways to not step on their toes, but then they see me and they see the numbers. And nepotism was a big thing that I was trying to destroy when it came to my family and I, because I didn't want to think, hey, he just gave her a job. It's like, no, I hit the ground running. And now there's a quote from Robert Greene. It says, say yes until you say no. Until you can say no. And now I feel like I'm in my no era. And those first few years you're saying yes to everything because you don't want to be caught up in now I'm saying yes to things like this to get me out of my comfort zone. Because I think that if you get out of your comfort zone, you grow. And I think that's important to not stay stagnant, especially in a business that
I
can be
have to
so.
agree.
Yeah.
I read a recent quote where it said, comfort and security can be one of the worst things for growth.
1,000%.
And
1,000%.
and growing up, my mom always said, like, if you're not going to get better,
Right.
and you're not going to grow if you don't put yourself in uncomfortable positions.
Exactly.
And I'm not saying like if your gut tells you something's not right, like
For
that's
sure.
different, you know?
Yes.
But if you are like, oh, I'm not good with people, I don't want to go speak in front of people.
Mm-hmm.
When I first started this job, Perry was like, I think 2 weeks in, he's like, oh, you're gonna go talk in front of, a triad group. And I'm like, how many people? And he's like, probably about 100,
Oh
not
my
that many. And I was
gosh.
like, I'm not good at speaking with people.
It's terrifying, but how good does it feel when you're done, right? You just feel like you're on top of the world.
It does feel great.
It feels good.
And it feels great having that security of knowing that, your boss has got your back,
Mm-hmm.
your insurance agent has got your back. Like,
Yes.
it's really nice knowing that you have that sense of security. And I think that's what's so important, like having this podcast and
Mm-hmm.
bringing in accredited businesses like yourself, is people get the chance to get to know you. They get to put a
Right.
face to the name. They get to put a personality to the business. It really personifies like what you guys do. And it makes them feel a stronger connection to it, because the whole point of the BBB is that we bring that security back to
Right.
the marketplace.
It's amazing. I'm proud of what you guys are doing.
I'm proud of our accredited businesses.
Yes. Oh, thank you.
Yeah,
We're
everyone,
getting there. It's the insurance is a tough world out there right now, but so is everything. Life is hard, and that's why I've, focused so much on getting that vibe right at work and having a team that meshes well. Someone can be really good at their job and they mess up the vibe, and
Yeah.
it's just not going to work. I want my team members to come into work, like you said, on a Monday and be like excited to be there. Not everyone's gonna be like, yay, work, but like to be around a group that you can laugh with and you can not be serious all day. And like
Exactly.
insurance can be boring, but if you keep the people around you, I think it's really important. And right now we have a team to where like I look around, I'm like, wow, vibes are so good and my team's happy. And
I love
I even
that.
just created a whole like one of the little ones that comes to, they call it the fancy room, but
Oh,
it's like a parlor, it's like a coffee room. We took all the file
I
cabinets
love
out, the
that.
lights are low. They can go in there and have their little coffee and just chill. I might play some frequencies in there for them.
Oh my gosh, I love that.
Yeah,
I
so I
might have to
think
turn the cafe in here into
you should. It has, when I first started, there was fluorescent lighting,
Yeah.
no dimmers, purple carpet, I mean blue carpet, nothing on the walls. And there was like 9 ladies working with my dad.
Really?
I went straight home and I grabbed everything around my house. I brought it in there, the smelly stuff for the bathroom, the stuff for the wall, and I said, okay, we got some work to do here. So we
Yeah.
worked on the staff back then we worked on the inside. Now I'm the landscaper, I'm the interior designer, I do everything, and it's come a long way, and I can proudly say my dad is proud of me. So
Good. I see that's the whole point, like being a leader, being a good leader, and bringing a team together.
Mhm.
We're mostly women in here, save for Barry and Josh, and I feel bad for them most of the time because, it's a lot of women running around and wanting to have
Yeah,
conversation, but it's a really great group of people, and that dynamic fits so well.
it really does. And it makes the biggest difference.
It really, and for you all as well, dealing with so much grief
Mhm.
when people call.
Yeah,
I can't imagine having to do that every day.
yeah,
Just like I can't imagine what they do here every day when
right.
they answer certain phone
I
calls
know.
for complaints.
Exactly.
Some things are just out of your hands and you
Mhm.
can't do anything about it.
Right. Yeah. And it's an uncomfortable conversation my dad used to try to have with me is about wills and things and what happens if he passes away. And used to make me so incredibly uncomfortable, but now I see the reason why we have to talk about it, because tomorrow's not guaranteed. None of it is. So we just have to be prepared and, take care of ourselves first and then take care of our team and our families. So
I agree.
that's what we
How
strive to
can
do.
people get in contact with you?
You can go to our website, www.fordthomas.com. I am the chatbot, so it goes straight to my text, so I can
Perfect.
get right back to you. Laura H@fordthomas.com is my email, so that's where
Perfect.
you
And
can
where are
find.
you speaking?
Oh gosh, 2 days, 48 hours from now, the Young Agents Conference of Virginia. I was a Young Agent Award winner last year of Virginia, so
Congratulations.
they wanted me to speak, and I said, I'm not speaking. I'm gonna do a Q&A with one of my best friends in the industry, Georgia. So,
I love that.
and we're gonna do it on wellness in the workplace, and you can't pour from an empty cup is gonna be our
I love that.
thing. So we're gonna do some
Q&A,
deep
I think,
breathing,
is
light a candle. We're gonna like show them 5 deep breaths
on
can
your
change your
happy
life.
face.
Yeah.
You're gonna do great.
Well, thank you. And thank you so much for your time and doing this. And
Thank you. Thank you for
it's
coming
very
in and
cool.
taking the time to talk to everybody listening, get to know you
Yes.
and the company more. And anybody that's watching, you can also find them on bbb.org. It's Ford and Thomas Insurance Agency on bbb.org. And if you're watching this on YouTube, please make sure to like, share it, and subscribe and comment down below. It really helps the algorithm out. We want to, make sure everybody knows about the company and about BBB sharing, so you can learn more there, all there is to know about, all the accredited businesses that we have. And if you're listening on Spotify, do the exact same thing.
Awesome.
Thank
Thank you
you.
so much.
Thank you.